I will die on the hill that this man did not end his own life, because the police are saying that he did, but I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to him, and then you can decide for yourself. So in September of 2005, the badly decomposed body of this man was found stuck between a couple of rocks, and he had washed ashore on an island in Sweden. He was past the point of being identified, and according to police, he had been in the water a really long time before being found. But a paper copy of his ID was found in his pants pocket, somehow in perfect condition despite being soaked in water for weeks. Swedish police were quick to say that he took his own life by jumping off a ferry into the water and drowning, but no water was found in his lungs, and the most disturbing part of it all, 3/4 of his liver was gone and his heart was completely missing, with no explanation on where they went. This is the disturbing and mysterious death of Miguel Martinez Santamaria, otherwise known as the man with the missing heart. This is still technically unsolved, and if there's ever a case that needs to be reopened, it's this one, so let's talk about it. Miguel was 45 years old when he mysteriously disappeared and died in 2005. He grew up in Spain and was known to be really adventurous and charming, and he cared so deeply for everyone. He was really close with his family, especially his sister Blanca. When he was 23 years old, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, which was obviously hard to tackle at first. But once on the right medication and surrounded by his family's love, life was really looking up for him. This brings us to April of 2005. Miguel had spent the last few years living abroad all over the place, and to celebrate his 45th birthday, he boarded a train from his hometown in northern Spain and set out to travel across Europe. He left with only $14,000 to his name, but that was pretty normal for Miguel, and his family sent him off fully expecting him to have the trip of his life. But sadly, that was not the case, as just 5 months later, Miguel would be found dead, and not a single soul would know why or how. At around 8 p.m. on September 29th, 2005, Miguel's sister Blanca received an unexpected phone call. When she answered, she was greeted by a police officer at her local police station in Spain, who told her that Miguel's body, or someone who was carrying a paper photocopy of his ID, had washed ashore in Lidingö, which is an island near Stockholm, Sweden. This was obviously a shock because they didn't even know that Miguel was missing, but she and the rest of her family went to the police station for more information, and it was there that the local police told her that Miguel had been killed and his body was thrown in the water. At this point, his body had been in the water for weeks and he was severely decomposed. But what's weird is that he had yet to even be identified via DNA by police. The whole situation was hard to believe, but the way he was found is even crazier. According to Swedish police, Miguel's body was found by a woman named Sarah Adams, who was walking along the water when she saw his decomposed body stuck between two rocks just a few feet offshore. When police were called, they immediately had his body transported to the morgue without securing the scene, or investigating for any clues as to who this body belonged to or what happened to him. Instead, they just tied a wristband around him that said unidentified, and it wasn't until a nurse at the morgue checked his pants pockets that they found this, a paper photocopy of an ID that belonged to Miguel Martinez Santamaria.